So guys, I'm back with our generator, and now I have it set up to give direct current. So I'm going to rotate clockwise like I was before, and I'm not going to change that. But watch the galvanometer. It's never going to the right, it's always pulling to the left. That's really different than the back and forth we had before. So this actually is direct current. Although it's pulsing, there's always a positive and there's always a negative. So that's really different behavior than before, and I want to explain how. It has to do with the configuration of the brushes. So notice they're no longer hooked up here and here like they were before. And when they were there, the brushes might as well have been wired directly to the galvanometer because they were touching here, and that was what was wired to the galvanometer. And as I spin it around, we don't see any breaks in the metal. That's just one solid piece on those front two rings. But now on the back ring, check that out. That's a break in the metal. So these are actually two different pieces of metal, and each piece is hooked up to one of the terminals on the galvanometer, or whatever you want it to power with this. Why does this help? Well, don't forget that the reason we had an alternating voltage before and an alternating current is because the flux was changing. Right now the flux is at a maximum because the field lines from the pole are going through the donut hole of the coil. As I spin it, now there's the minimum flux. Now we're back to maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum. So we're growing and shrinking, growing and shrinking. That's what's causing the alternating voltage. So the brushes, as before, are still hooked up to the ends of the coil. So they are changing their voltage. This one is always, right now, not always, this one right now, let's just say it's positive. It's making the other one negative. 180 degrees later, as we've gone through the loop, that left brush is now going to be negative. But look what happened. It's now touching the other piece of metal. So the other piece of metal before was touching the right brush, which was negative. Now it's the brushes have switched, but so have the pieces of metal. Spin it again. The left brush is back to positive, and it's touching the piece of metal it originally was. And what that means is we get that pulsed DC current like you saw before.